Greetings and welcome to SmartWatchTicks.com. From the It's About Time, Mr. Ticks department, here we go. We have been looking at a lot of watches that do a lot of fun things. Bluetooth calling and 5 ATM waterproofing, but none of them have had GPS in them. So we are back to take a really fun look at a really good watch. I'm very impressed with this one that has, for its saving grace, GPS built into it. And it really works, and it works really well with the Google Maps in the United States. You can get it from BANGGOOD. It's really inexpensive, about $55 with GPS module built into it. And Barometer for barometric pressure, and it'll even show you your altitude with a compass built into this one as well. Yeah, blood oxygen, heart rate, IP68 waterproof. It's a nice watch. Let's take a look at the breakdown of the specs. Yeah, I blew them up a little larger, make it easier for you. We've got these languages in the watch and these languages in the app, supposedly. You've got call reminder and reject. There is no Bluetooth calling in this one, mind you, but it does have the compass and GPS modules in it. So it's really made for getting out there and trekking around. You got heart rate, blood oxygen, sedentary, sleep reminder, GPS positioning. There we go. Step count, calories, distance. We've got music control, countdown, stopwatch. All of that's in here. This is saying IP67, so they don't quite have their act together. Wouldn't quite say you should dunk this one in water, but it might be all right. I don't know. I'm not going to try that. You've seen it on the other ones that really claim strong waterproofing. You're getting about 14 days standby, 7 days use time, and 2 hours of charging time. And two things I want to mention here. You've got GPS in this, so you can run GPS continuously in one of the workout activities like running or walking or cycling. Does a great job on that. And I got an Easter egg I found. It's not even mentioned here, but in the app itself, buried, well, you're going to see it. We can turn this into an always-on watch. And I'm not talking one of those sissy little analog displays that you can barely see. It turns it on all the time. Of course you're going to lose battery life. I mean, it's the way it is. The display eats away the battery. But I'm really tired about them telling me that I have to make battery life my main objective. There are some days I just want to go out and run my watch all the way on, you know, like a gas-guzzling truck. I don't care about it. I'm going to charge it later at night. Let me have my always-on display. Well, this one is going to let us do that. I got a manual, I got a charging thing, even a little bit of silica gel here, 2-pin connector, magnetically coupled. You've seen all that. This is really packaged in an interesting way. So it's great for a gift. The module itself comes separate. I guess that means the bands are removable, huh? And I've got the fancy blue and black one here to show you. Quick run through of the instruction manual. The basics are here on the beginning. Long press to turn it on. How the screen fingering controls work. I mean, really basic stuff. QR code for the app, but I definitely recommend you go to the Google Play Store directly or use the link in our show notes to get into that. And then we're into other languages. I'll put it together and run you through it. Band looks nice, kind of an integrated blue boundary around the outside of black rubberized band, and blue on the underneath side completely. Your charging ports are there, your sensors, green diodes, red diodes, little bitty hole for air to get in here to give you your barometric pressure information. Compass is on board. Light and start, it says. We're going to press on light, give it a second, and waiting. There it goes. Vibrates, says hello, and it's going to launch us into our first of 3 watch faces that are on this one. Plus, you can download more faces from the app. Swiping down on this one is kind of backwards. You get your notifications sent from your phone, and swiping up is where all of your different controls are, which include setting your vibration rate, which not a big difference in this. It's more of how long the vibration is. You got this thing that will turn the screen on for 5 minutes and then turn it off. Yeah, but we found a trick that we can turn it on continuously. Going to leave that off for a second. I'm going to tap that one, and now the screen is locked. You can't do anything with it at all. Great to do if you're going to be working around exercising with it. To get into it, you got to hold it all the way until it unlocks. So that's part of the features here. Do not disturb. This is a special battery power savings mode. Do not disturb on and off. And that's just going to kind of control your messages being sent and the screen illumination and whatnot. Here we go into settings. You've got your overall watch faces. You've seen that one. I've got a nice analog one. This is really fun. And with that, I'm going to put it on so you can see this whole thing in one big combination. It's a good thin watch. It's not super thin, but definitely not as thick as an Android watch. Here we go. And there you go. Really nice. I like that one. I'll show you a couple of more later on. In the meantime, we were doing settings with watch faces. You've got brightness controls all the way up to 5, which is really decent brightness. Looks like that. I wish we had the slider control, but we don't. Let's switch to a different face here. We have vibration intensity we already looked at. Now, here's auto lock. You can have your raise to see the time, twist your wrist to see the time, and you can set auto lock for as low as 5 seconds by second up to 20 seconds. And that's your standard thing, unless you have the watch in the automatic always on mode, which it's set in right now. So it'll never go off, ever, never, ever. You can get the QR code to scan to bind the watch to the phone, which is different than downloading the app itself. This is actually a QR code binding system. And then there's your settings again and about here, which tells you it's the NY28. And you have reboot, power off, and reset are the basic stuff you've got in overall settings. And that's everything there. So we've covered up and down. Coming over this way, we get into the continuous heart rate. Now it's fun because it's showing you the range during any particular hour of your heart rate. So you can see dynamically instead of just a little chart that's going up and down. And there's a couple of times I did some active workouts and was sedentary within that hour. And so you see a maximum, minimum type thing. You can do a direct individual measurement by tapping there if you want to. You have blood oxygen here. When you tap this one, you'll get a measurement, and it's using the red and green diode technology for this, which is higher accuracy. Now on this one, you do not have continuous blood oxygen, nor is it reported that way in the app. It's individualized. So throughout the day, if you take a blood oxygen reading, it'll log it into the watch and it'll transfer it to the app, and then you can see your accumulated blood oxygen readings over time. But it's not one of those with continuous blood oxygen. There's no blood pressure in this one. We're not getting fatigue or stress or any of that. So I really wouldn't qualify it as a health watch, but I definitely would call it a fitness and adventurer's watch because it has all of the activity capability in it. Getting 98% right now. Here's last night's sleep time, and nice, you get the whole chart, white being awake, and then you've got deep and light sleep, and you'll see more in the app. Over here is the temperature information, no forecast, just temperature for the city that you put in the app, and you can change that. And then you got remote music player, no speaker or microphone, so the sound will come out of your phone. And then finally your step count and your calories and how many times you've stood against your goals. That's moving around, your sedentariness per hour. And then back to your watch face. Okay, let me jump you into all of the apps in the app drawer. They're up here. You have different workouts, outdoor running, indoor running, outdoor walking, so forth, freestyle. Most all of these do not invoke GPS except for if you're going to be moving linearly, and you could make a track. And so that's outdoor running and outdoor cycling and walking, right? And so I've done a few of the activities on that. Here I tap it and it says it's going to go into the GPS mode. It's acquiring GPS here, and then it of course will give you your information and you can start to hit go. I got a couple to show you already in here, which is in activity. Here they are, outdoor walking and running and such. And you don't see a whole lot here. You get time and distance, calories, total steps. You get your cadence, pace. I guess you do get a lot. And heart rate, max, minimum, and average. All of that's in here, but you even get more, including the track in the app, which you'll see here in a minute. Stats is just, we already saw that. That's your basic step count information. Then you got heart rate and blood oxygen and sleep. We saw all that. News is messages sent to the phone, watch, we already saw that, and weather we saw, and music player. So Stopwatch is new. It's not a continuous thing. When you leave it, it stops. You have a countdown timer if you want to, and it'll vibrate. You can find your phone. I wanted to show you, here's air pressure. This is unique to this one. That's your HPA, and then here's your altitude in feet, and it does change as you go up and down in feet. You see it's calibrating against the blood pressure, against the air pressure. Too many things to get you that information. But you have that, and you have a compass. And, of course, you got to calibrate it. There we go. And I am sitting in the north, which means I should be pointing about at 180 degrees due south, and it tracks where you are. The arrow's right there, and that's the number of where the arrow is pointing in its degrees. And it'll stay on when you got this in the always on mode, of course, just like this. So you could run your battery all the way down with just keeping the compass on, if you like that idea. Beautiful, beautiful combination of opportunities here. And then settings, we saw all of this as well already. So let's jump into the app and show you some of that integration I was talking about. This watch uses InfoWare, and I remember we've reviewed this app before because I confused it with InfoWars, which is definitely not. InfoWare is an app that has a lot of neat capabilities to it. I'm hitting open, and now quickly it's already jumped to the app because I had the app open. You see it's synced. There's a process you go through to set it up. You saw the QR code on the watch. You scan that with the app, and then you're paired. We're skipping all that section. It's pretty simple. Brand new watch, you just follow the steps. Here's my overall step count for the day so far, and just a big synopsis. And then these cards, which are relocatable and movable, you can put them in whatever order you want, are the cards that give you your information. Now I'm just going to talk step count right here, showing you the actual step count per hour throughout the day with this information, including yesterday. And of course you have weekly and monthly info as well. I've got distance traveled during those little steps, right, or those hours, and then I've got calories consumed during those hours. Here's one when I was doing a big workout, which is actually cutting trees, but I marked it as a run just so I could accumulate some data with the compass and GPS stuff on it for you. We'll show you that in a moment. Exercise records. Why not make that moment right now? Here we go. These are the accumulated records of these activities that I did today. Whoa! And it's zooming in on me. I'm going to switch us over to the actual GPS camera image. And I'm going to go way in there. There's my house, if you can see it right there. There's the driveway and parking area. And this is showing you basically where I live way out here in the rainforest. And I was way down here cutting some trees so that we have a nice view channel open back up down here. And I had it on and was doing all of this stuff the whole time. And what was I doing? Well, it shows you here. There was no pace because I really wasn't walking. But I was getting some stride on this one. And I got detail here. It shows the overall exercise, step count, stride frequency, 11 steps per minute. Again, not really representative of a run because I was cutting trees. I was just doing work. So let me show you something different. How about this one down here, 14-minute walk. Whoa, okay, we're zooming back down in, and there we go again. Now, the way I did this is my house, and it's got a deck around it, and I'm just walking about around the deck, a bunch of times. It doesn't go in a circle, but it loops back and forth. Anyway, why I did this is it shows you kind of the GPS accuracy circle, right? And it's right at the very edge. So the accuracy on this is probably within 10 to 20 feet, not 100 feet. Oftentimes I've done this and showed you in some of the results where the positions are all over the place within a circle of maybe 100 feet out, maybe 200 feet diameter. This is really close. The whole house is probably, I don't know, 100 feet wide, and so it's really constrained. So two things about it. One, you got the great Google Maps, which will show you, with all the names of everything on it, like you typically see on Google. Or you turn this on, and you can get the actual satellite. Or you turn that on, and now you can get just the track itself, not against any identifiable information. Really, really slick. And there's now it's just got the designation of the house. You see that there. Okay, in terms of graph now, here's pace and stride frequency, here's detail, and now it's showing you for the walk this kind of information. So all in all, very impressive in terms of what you can get in your exercise record with the GPS invoked on the watch itself. In addition, you've got your continuous heart rate. Here's where I took it off and charged it up a bit, because it's been in the always-on mode. It had drained down to about 30%. I don't know over how many hours. What I'll do is I'll do a test for you. I'm going to charge it to 100%. I'm going to turn GPS on. I'm going to turn the screen on. I'm going to make it full bright. And I'm going to keep it in always-on mode and see how much life I get out of it. That's your minimum. And then anything else you do short of that would make it a longer life, like if you weren't using GPS or you turned the screen brightness down. Here I've had it on just for the review. And so when point is here, when it's not on your arm, it's not making any readings, which is great. You're not getting fake readings not wearing it, and that happens sometimes. Yeah, I was pumping, cutting the trees, 164 maximum. Last night's sleep time, 46. Uncle Tix has got a big dynamic range in his heart health. We've got blood oxygen. As I mentioned, they're just dots, and these are individual readings I've taken, usually 97 to 99. Yeah, there you go. Not a big drastic range. It would be nice if we had blood oxygen throughout the night wearing this watch so you could see if you had sleep apnea, but this is not a health-focused watch. It's a sports and adventurer's watch. And so for that, we lose continuous blood oxygen and no blood pressure or any of the other stuff. But we do have sleep. Here's the sleep breakdown. No REM sleep on this one, but you do have deep and light, and you can see on any particular one you touch exactly when it happened and what you were in, and you get your overall percentages on your breakdown as well. And again, day, week, and month information is available. And effective standing is just yes or no. Did you stand up or not during that particular hour? I began at 7 a.m. wearing this watch, and I've stood up every single hour. Boy, I'm doing good. Even while I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm standing up. Anyway, that's another card on here. You can edit them and change them around, but that's all of the cards. You got exercise, which will take you into a screen with a Google map on your area, and you can invoke an exercise directly from the app, like you see in most apps if you want to. But with GPS in the watch, you don't need to take your phone with you. That's what's so cool. It'll do it with you right from the watch. The device itself shown here. Here it's enabled, shows you your power saving settings if you want to. Are you watching? Are you watching? The raise to wake. This is where you can time it so you can twist your wrist to go on, but at night it won't. You can set your time right here, or you can change it to turn it off. You can have it on smart on, or you can have it on all day. That's the magic trick. Confirm on all day, save it. It will not twist your wrist to see the time. The time will always stay on, always. It will always be on. It won't go off. DNS, do not disturb. You can also set that up for a start and end time so you don't get any messages interrupting you while you're asleep. Find your device. Overall, more settings. You could actually set your 12/24 hour here if you want to. Adjust your brightness levels. Normally on. This combined with that other thing is where you turn the watch always on. So you play with it, but normally on in the brightness settings should leave the screen always on too. Otherwise, with that off, you can set your screen duration time from 5 to 20 seconds. As you saw, you could do on the watch, but you didn't have this feature available to you. So normally on. Now it's always on there too. So one or the other or both of those will account for this thing being always on. You can restart. It did need a firmware update. When you get yours, do this and do a firmware update. That'll be good for you. And that's everything. You can unbind it from here if you want to. Then there's you. This is where you set up yourself, your personal information. I always go female in case it happens to do cycle period tracking. It does not, this particular watch. It's not a health watch. You got your unit setting, metric or imperial. You've got target settings and steps, your distance traveled, and your calories. And that's where you get those rings to fill in. Maps can be set to Google or GAODE, and it does a nice job in the United States on Google. And then you got feedback, data authorization, problems about, all that kind of common stuff. So there we go with the app. And one more time, you can pick this up from BANGGOOD for about $55, possibly even under 50 if I can get you set up with a coupon on it. It is on flash right now, and usually that's about as low as it'll go. But hey, to get a GPS watch for about $55 that has a lot of these capabilities and the features I've showed you, including the always on, the compass, and the altimeter built into it, that's a pretty decent deal. Alrighty, gang, thanks for watching today, and we'll see you again soon.